All the footage and the photographs you are about to see were filmed in 1994 and 2004. This was only meant to be personal holiday camcorder footage, as YouTube had not been invented at this time. So I thought I'd put them together and see how it came out. Enjoy our trip to Alcatraz and our walk across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Getting close to Alcatraz, one of the first things you see is the lighthouse. As you approach the dock, you get the dock tower, and Building 64 comes into view. Building 64 was the first building built on the island and was residential apartments. To the north end of the island is the large water tank. The building to the right is the storehouse. The chimney is from the powerhouse. The big building on the top of the rock is the cell house. From Alcatraz, the mainland of San Francisco, is only 1.3 miles away. The big question is, to this day, the escapees actually make it back to the mainland. In September 1994 we toured Alcatraz Prison. It was a self-guided tour as everyone wore headphones and a tape player as a personal guide, which is why everyone is so quiet. We followed the yellow line on the floor and played the tape as we went, giving us a full tour and information. There are no sound effects added to this video, and yes, it really is that windy out there. This is a basic map of the layout of the ground floor of Alcatraz, the main floor. Each inmate had his own cell. If they towed the line, they were given privileges such as work, books, magazines and paper for artwork. These are the cells where 3 prisoners escaped from, cutting through the back wall of their cells, climbing through the hole they made, up through the utility room, to the roof and to freedom. This is the ventilation chamber where they would have come out. And homemade life jackets.
Okay, now let's
This is one of the visitors' windows.
door opening and closing for 10, 20 years. It's going to make you think about your crimes that you committed. That's how it's done. You're welcome.
I thought I'd film more than that in 1994, so when we went back in 2004, I had to film more. I had a new video camera and quality had improved. Let's carry on with the tour. This is 2004.
Go on.
This is the guy that built the bridge.
We're about to walk over the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge. And we're about to join it. How long is it, Donor?
At least.
It's going to take about 40 minutes to walk it.
4,200 feet long.
Just about to enter the Golden Gate Bridge. And that's Alcatraz, sitting out there in the bay. We'll go into that later. And there's the Golden Gate Bridge. San Francisco Bay. All the mist. Alcatraz. Beautiful view.
Whoa, San Francisco Bay Bridge, you can feel it moving.
What's the bridge in the background?
The bridge in the background is San Francisco Bay Bridge. That's the one we mistakenly took over a few years back, 10 years ago. Oh, there are Alcatraz. The Golden Gate Bridge. And it's very, very windy. We're here, this is Alcatraz.
It's an army barracks, and if you notice here on the bottom portion of the building, you notice the windows are very thick at the bottom portion here, and the reason why they were meant to house cannons. They were called casemates. By the time the Army finished building this, it was at the end of the Civil War. By that time, the weaponry had advanced so much, it made the bomb-proof barracks obsolete. So the Army added 3 more floors above here, and then this becomes apartments for guards and their families. How'd you like to live here as a resident? Well, believe it or not, families lived here, children grew up here and called this place home. As a matter of fact, we had a reunion about a month ago of former residents of Alcatraz. They have an alumni association. We had a gathering every year. People come back and talk about their experiences. So it's really interesting to have people come back to Alcatraz. They were once locked up here as prisoners, and also people who lived here in these apartments as residents, and children that once lived here, and now, of course, adults. So you get these different perspectives, very different views of this island. Also very different views as far as looking out at the view. I mean, look around you. Great view of the bay right here on this island.
And on the way up to the prison. Oh, here we are, we're at Alcatraz. And this is the cell block. This is the main aisle through the cell house. The inmates called this Broadway. On each side of us are the cell blocks. Block B on the right and C block on the left. No matter who you were, you answered to your number, and everyone's cell was the same. Anything extra was earned through privileges. At the far end of Broadway, you should see a clock mounted on the wall. Beneath this clock is the area the inmates referred to as Times Square.
Yeah.
This is the cut through and leads to A block. The Army built this cell house in 1912. When the Bureau of Prisons took over the prison in 1934, they remodeled all the blocks but A block. This is a mock-up of the three cells of where the three prisoners escaped to the roof and made a bid for freedom. Notice the holes in the wall under the sink that they crawled through. In the barbershop area, we have a good view looking through one of the utility corridors. Inside the barbershop are photographs of some of the most infamous prisoners, which included people such as George Machine Gun Kelly, Scarface Al Capone, the Birdman of Alcatraz Robert Stroud, Mickey Cohen, Alvic Creepy Carpis and Arthur Doc Barker. Arthur Barker was the son of Ma Barker and a member of the Carpis Barker gang. From the barbershop we get a good look up Sunrise Alley on the east side of Alcatraz and the cells that were never used.
Good start. 3 to 1.
The shower room, not one of the places you want to be found alone. It has been reported that Al Capone's ghost has been heard playing the banjo down here. Imagine at least 200 men, each with a knife, fork and spoon in hand. This was potentially the most dangerous room in the cell house. It is said that 8 of the murders that took place in Alcatraz, 3 or 4 were in here. Notice the knife rack. Each knife in the rack had its silhouette painted to check inventory. D block. This is the prison inside the prison. This is the isolation unit. Segregation. The hole. There are 42 cells on D block, and this is where Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz, spent 6 years. He was on the top tier to the right in cell 42. D block is also known as Sunset Strip, simply because it's facing west. At the bottom right are the solitary confinement cells. These have solid metal doors and are cells 9 to 14. This is the hole. Heading back up Sunset Strip, there's the door to the exercise yard. Yeah. The view from the steps is north to west. The Golden Gate Bridge is 3 miles away. Apart from exercising, you could sit on the steps and watch the ships go by and imagine what it's like to be out on the other side of that wall. On June the 11th, 1962, Frank Morris, John and Clarence Anglin broke out of Alcatraz and made a bid for freedom. They made holes into the utility corridors, scaled the pipes up to the roof and made their way to the shoreline, where they inflated a homemade dinghy and made their escape. Released information from the FBI in 2010 states a raft was found the following morning on nearby Angel Island, and a car was also stolen in the early hours after the 1962 escape. Since then, handwritten letters and postcards have been received by family members. Also, at John and Clarence Anglin's parents' funerals, two strange-looking women attended both funerals. Were these strangely dressed women John and Clarence Anglin? As the years went by, one female relative received flowers on her birthday every year for decades from a mystery sender. With the look at all the evidence today, I reckon they made it. So there you are, sitting on the top step in the exercise yard, and this comes into view. You can daydream that you are sailing into the sunset. You wonder who's on board and where they are going. The people on board see you and wonder if you're Al Capone or the Birdman. The whistle blows, shattering your daydream, and you have to return to your cell.